Sweet. Rock on. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Legendary Chiropractor Podcast. I'm your host, Johnny Reuter, and tonight we are sitting down with a very special guest and a frequent guest on this show of the Legendary Chiropractor Podcast, Dr. Chris Zaino. He's been with us since season 1, episode, I don't even remember, but probably episode 5 or 6. And so we've become great friends over the course of a year pretty much now. And it's been an honor to have him on the show previously, and he always brings knowledge, value, and massive, massive content to the crowd and to the audience. And so I wanted to have him back on with amidst all the other things going on in the world in today's day and age, and just kind of have a brief conversation of what that looks like, especially for you as practicing chiropractors and fledgling chiropractic students. So when we get back from this short break, we will be hearing from Dr. Chris Zaino, his thoughts, his opinions, professional, personal, all the good things. But we're gonna have some fun on this podcast, and we're gonna have a lot of fun just tonight in general. We're sorry we're a little bit late. We're having some technical difficulties as the world goes around, right? So we'll be right back from this short break, and when we come back, we're gonna be breaking everything down for you right here. Peace, guys. To Inspire Women is the elite boutique coaching company for chiropractors who are looking to live life and run business in a way that is personal, unique, and authentic. They focus on business systems and money mindset mastery so you can pay down debt, be more profitable, and serve more people. Their goal is to empower you to achieve success by your own rules and your own definition. Head to toinspirewomen.com now because they know there's a better way. CHIRO HD, superior cloud-based practice management software. CHIRO HD is a user-friendly, all-in-one EHR solution built with one mission: to help you run your practice like a boss. Learn more at chirohd.com. Total Clinic Solutions is your go-to source for purchasing both brand new and refurbished chiropractic equipment, as well as phone support for repairs and maintenance. Call Derek and allow him to combine your wishes and his 23 years of chiropractic equipment expertise to find what's best for you and your patients at 704-622-4089 or head to totalclinicsolutions.com now. It's time that chiropractors look beyond spinal alignments and measured the nerve connections that keep our patients feeling strong and performing at their peak. CLA designed the Insight scanning technologies to transform exams and generate powerful reports that give practitioners the certainty they have been searching for. Learn how CLA has partnered with practices around the world by going to insightcla.com. Spinal hygiene products are designed to educate your patients on the importance of lifetime spinal care. To learn more about how spinal hygiene products work and to download the patient education material for free, visit spinalhygiene.co. Again, that's spinalhygiene.co. Easily share your passion for chiropractic and look good doing it with Above Down Apparel, offering a premium lineup of principled apparel that's impossibly soft, sustainably sourced, and chiropractic AF. Visit abovedown.co and follow them on Instagram to learn more and score yourself some sweet chiro swag. SKED is the all-in-one system that allows for amazing control and flexibility of your scheduling. Yes, your next new hire. Every aspect of when and where you service your customers is at your command. SKED is tightly integrated with your existing EHR system. This software was made by a chiropractor specifically for chiropractic. No joke. Go check out their latest care plan feature by heading to go.sked.life/legendarypod. Dr. David Toohill is an innovative product and marketing strategist, bridging the gap between your vision and strategic plan. He will help you design specific products and processes that are both scalable and set up to produce long-term revenue and growth. He has previously worked with influencers that include Dr. Josh Axe, Jordan Rubin of Ancient Nutrition, Olympic gold medalist Shawn Johnson, and many, many others. Schedule your call with Dr. Dave today by heading to meetwithdrdave.com. Training the best adjusters on the planet. SYNTROPY has reverse engineered what the masters do naturally. From the energetics to the mechanics, they've hacked the code to shorten your learning curve on the road to masterful adjusting. To find a seminar near you, head to syntropychirotraining.com. Thank you for allowing this brief disruption to take place. And now back to the program. Fantastic. Welcome back, everybody, to the Legendary Chiropractor Podcast. Again, I'm your host, Johnny Reuter, and tonight we're sitting down with very special guest, Dr. Chris Zaino, tuning in from Houston, Texas. Doc, talk to us. Tell us a little bit about maybe something interesting about yourself, if you so will, before we dive into, the elephant in the room here and get talking about serious stuff.
So we're going to talk about, let's just talk about the present. So I practice in the Woodlands, Texas. Great, subluxation-based practice. Love it. Been practicing. This year will be 15 years. October 2005. I opened. So this October will be 15 years, and man, it's been great. It's been really awesome, and I've really seen everything. So I feel I can help anybody, even during stuff like this. Remember, in Texas, we go through hurricanes. So there's, I wouldn't call it bad, but there's freakouts for months post-hurricane. So this is something where I'm kind of used to, in a way, what's going on right now.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that a lot of people... we can address that head on, right? And I think that we should address that fear head on, right? Because I don't know much about psychology except for what I learned in chiropractic school, but it's not right, and it's not much, right? But in all reality, you have to understand like where's that line, right? Where's that line when we're making fear-based decisions versus reason and logic-based decisions, and how do we go about navigating that, Doc?
No, you nailed it. Like you got fear-based decisions versus logical or faith-based decisions. It takes the same amount of energy to fear something that it does to have faith on something, right? So we're just trained in faith. We're just trained to be fearful most of the time. Like we're trained that, like media trains us in fear. So the same energy, because what is fear and faith? Fear is something that hasn't happened, and faith is something that hasn't happened yet. So they're both things that haven't happened, yet we tend to be more negative. We tend to go more towards the negative, more towards the fear. In fact, I saw an Ed Milet interview today. He was interviewing a guy, I forgot his name, where he works with a lot of sports teams to maximize their. And he was saying, when you speak fear or you speak negative, and you're like going from thinking it to speaking it, it's 40 to 70% more effective on your psychology. So when you speak it, it's 40 to 70 or 40 times to 70 times more impacting on your brain chemistry and your belief systems. Mm-hmm. So when you put that into a pandemic, people are literally speaking and increasing their chances, whether it be 40 to 70% or 40 to 70 times the amount of negativity that and belief system in the brain. Like he was talking about Bill Buckner. So for those of you guys who don't know Bill Buckner, it was the 86, I think it was the 86 World Series. Boston Red Sox were going to win, and this guy let a very slow rolling ground ball go through his legs. And horrible. They lost. The Red Sox lost. The people threatened this guy's life. But a couple days before, he was literally being interviewed, and he's like, the worst thing that could happen is, just letting a game-winning ground ball go through someone's legs. Like he literally said the thing that happened. And I don't think it happens to us on a conscious level, like we're consciously making it happen. But I really believe that when he spoke it, there's a 40 to 70% or time chance of it actually occurring, or lowering your brain, lowering your belief system enough to where your practice starts to go down, and you start to believe the movie that we're living in right now, the reality movie of COVID or whatever it is. I haven't participated in the movie. I've been open, thank God. I've never worn a mask. I tell my patients to take that damn mask off. You wouldn't wear underwear for 5 days. These people are wearing these freaking masks for weeks. They're disgusting. They're gross. Makes no sense. So, Johnny, let's look at it this way. So everybody's watching, like, I think we don't want to preach to the choir, meaning that everybody watching this, every chiro or health professional, like, yeah, no kidding. Like, how do we speak to these people?
Right.
Well, it's really tough to speak to someone that's in fear.
Mm-hmm.
They don't think right. There's a point, blah, 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 chance of getting something. That means there's a 99 point something that'll never do anything, and it shut the whole entire world down. So it is frustrating as a health professional to be like, well, wait a second. I have a message of chiropractic or health to change the world, to save these people or save them from themselves, or not worry, or at least live a philosophy like we do in chiropractic, where when you're a chiropractic philosophy, you're like, you don't like, this disease isn't like a puppy that wants to play, or like they think COVID's like gas, right? So eventually it'll dissipate. No, it's always there. So we want to strengthen our immune systems. Let's get it, bring it, give it to me, right? So the inside out philosophy really gives peace, where that outside in philosophy, you could see it creates. There's so many holes, and it's just ridiculous. So how do we educate people? That's it. You just put out good content like this. You educate people, but understand that fear is a very, very tough enemy to battle. I saw something online, Johnny. It was really good. It's like, that like a person said is, I will only listen to a medical doctor about what's going on, and then the next thing was like, I will only listen to a medical doctor that supports my fears.
Right.
Because you have medical doctors saying like, guys, you're ridiculous. This is out of control. But they're like, no. So a lot of people want to back up their fear, because it is now, like we talked about, giving people a sense of significance. It's giving people a sense of excitement. It's making people feel like they're fighting for something. And then you have those people that just don't want to go to work. So you have a lot of weird stories out there. That's kind of like, what I mean, not stories, like, I just think you have a lot of weird scenarios of maybe there's a chiropractor out there that they were struggling in practice, and so when this hit, it gives them like a relief. Be like, well, you see? So it kind of makes them feel better about the situation, right? So there's just so many different mental scenarios that's going on. But just like anything else, man, you got to pivot and course correct. That's life. You got to always evolve. You always got to pivot and course correct. So, Johnny, to turn this one back to you, what would you tell chiropractors? Because a lot of times you hear about this telemedicine, right? Telemedicine is in. Telemedicine's in. So, what do you do when you're a chiropractor with telemedicine?
Right. Yeah, that's a great question.
No, I'm asking you, like,
yeah.
What do you think? Because it's like chiros feel kind of left out. They're like, crap, so should we do functional medicine?
Right.
Should we do like all these other things? Because now it's like, I have to touch somebody.
Right. Yeah.
Like, I have to physically, by hand, touch a person.
Right.
To deliver the only service that I truly give. Yes, we do nutrition. I know we do a bunch of stuff, but the truly main thing that we do is adjust. That we went to school for, have a license to do. That's our scope of practice. But that very thing itself, you have to physically be in the presence of that person.
Right.
So it's tough to telemed that out.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And I would say a lot of times, if I were to argue on the side of we could do it, right, it would be in the sense of really diving deep into this state of universal intelligence, right, and understanding that all things are connected, right? No matter what I tell you, what we talk about, no matter it be virtual or physical, I get it that it's chiropractic, chiro done by hand, practice done. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get that. But at the same time, I would say that some people, right, and some camps who do some techniques would argue, hey, we have a power that we can work with if we're willing to tap into it. Now, I'm with you in the sense of, yeah, what we went to school for, what we're licensed for is to adjust, right? But now we have to break down the definition of what we're adjusting and how we're going about delivering that adjustment via technique, right? So that's kind of my, that's kind of my answer to that, just to play a little bit of a devil's advocate. But I would say a couple good points that you brought up during our brief conversation there was, people are trained in fear. I like how you put that, right? Because it gives them a sense of belonging, right? And it allows them to identify with others around them, and then all of a sudden we have congruence, and now we have one voice, right? And fear is what drives a lot of people's decisions, no matter if that's just scrolling on Amazon, buying something because you feel left out that you don't have it, right? Being left out is a fear, right? That FOMO, right? And so it's like, even if it's that, or if it's something serious like a pandemic and like a virus, right? So I think there's always this struggle and this egotistical thing to search for a belonging, to search for an identity outside of ourselves, right? And you and I have had this conversation many a times, and it always becomes that we tap into external things, which is, again, I mean, we could argue that's why medicine is very critical, right? And it's because we think that the answer is out there, and it's not in here, it's not in here, and it's not in the gut, right? You know, it's not inside. So that's pretty interesting. And then you talked about speaking, right? And everyone's talking about it. It's something to talk about. But then, I mean, speak physically, right? And everyone you come in contact with, no matter at the grocery store or, you know, social distancing, you know, somewhere out, you know, going for a run, whatever. If any conversation right now is all based on around this topic, right? And even if when you go, especially when you go on this thing, you can't get away from it, right? And it's troubling, right? Because I know what I see on my end as a chiropractor, and I have a lot of natural, holistic people on my newsfeed, and I'm still seeing, you know, the mass amounts of fear and craziness going on through my social device. So I would argue that, you know, people are getting that times 100 if they don't have these, you know, natural holistic people pretty much voicing from the other side, I would say. Would you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. It's like, you know, I don't listen to the radio anymore because even the radio, it's like there's music, but what's in between the music? You always hear about this.
Yep.
You know, everywhere, dude. Like, but it doesn't have to be everywhere. You go to the supermarket, and I still get freaked out by seeing people wearing a mask, like, because I think there's something wrong with them. Like, you know, like, because we're used to, like, what's wrong? Oh, yeah, they're trying to protect me. Yeah, so it's like, just the energy, the whole energy is rough. And, you know, I fought it, man. I still fight.
Yeah.
That's what we'll talk about. It's like, so what do you do during this?
Right.
Do you still market? Yeah, man, I still marketed. You know, did I spend a lot of money marketing? Yes, I did. But it was just like, did it return as well? No, but it did something. Like, I kept the routine.
Right.
So, see, you could let the circumstances of the entire world. See, that's the thing that kind of got me this time. Like, when it's a hurricane, it's the state, you know, or maybe it's the counties or the state, let's say, or a couple states. But when it's the whole world, it's like, man, I never dealt with the whole world. But it's the same thing. And it's like, you can let all the circumstances on the external affect you, or you could choose not to participate. I mean, like, I choose not to participate with that. So I still market it, right? And yes, it might have just paid for itself, but it's like, I choose to keep my routine.
Yeah.
I choose to still see patients the same hours. I still went to the gym. Well, the gyms are closed. What'd you do? I emailed on Facebook. I went on Facebook. I'm like, does anybody have any type of home gym?
Right.
And so everybody came out. So there's like 2 garages and another chiropractor has a little gym. So it's like I kept my routine as much as possible because it keeps the momentum going. So yes, I didn't see as many patients, and yes, those patients that were scared, or I had to cut half the chairs in my waiting room down for the distancing. Like, I got to play along with the game,
Right.
But it's like you keep the routine. I try. Like last night, I did a talk. I did a talk, right? And people are like, why are you doing a talk? I'm like, because it was in the calendar. That's why. So I know, like, guys, like, see what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was in the calendar. When I put something in the calendar, I see it through. So it was in the calendar. So it was a marketed talk. We spent a couple grand, you know, and 3 people showed up. So anybody would be like, wow, that totally sucks. But you know what? I kept the routine. You know what I'm saying? Like, I did it. I did the talk because it's about, you know, keeping your routine and not participating in what everybody else has been doing, you know, getting scared. I talked to someone the other day. I'm like, let's do this. Like, I'm social distancing. And when they say it, because I'm so not participating, I'm like, what? Like, it sounds so crazy.
Yeah.
But I want it to always sound crazy to me because I never want this to be the norm.
Right.
Like, I just choose not to accept it as chiropractors out there, or especially now I mean, during the last 7 weeks, John, I flew on a plane 6 times. I've been to Reno, Nevada, Park City, Utah. My mom, who's 82, flew in. My boys flew in from here. Like life itself didn't change, and it just proves that this whole thing is blown out of proportion. But it goes back to the fear thing. So people, here's a good quote because I know you like quotes. This is really good. No, I just got it. I'm going to say it. So many people are afraid to die that they fail to live.
Yes.
I'll say that again. So many people are afraid to die right now that they fail to live.
Yep.
And that's what you're seeing. That's what's so frustrating. People are so afraid of death. They're so afraid of the fear of death that they don't have the faith to live. And it's really, so even though they're living, they're not really living, right? So I think as health professionals, we don't fear death. We don't want to die, of course, but we don't fear death, but we embrace life. We have more faith in life and the intelligence of life than we do in the fear of death. So I really think that's the takeaway today is so many people are so afraid to die. Point something, John.
Yeah.
Point.
Yeah.
0 something. Like that was astonishing.
Mm-hmm.
Point 0 something.
Yeah.
It's not even as bad as a regular flu, right? Like 0 something, and that 0 something is still enough fear that they feel that people are willing to give away their freedoms, and then life as they know it.
Yeah.
I think what's more tough for me, John, is the psychology of humanity right now. I think a bus of Boy Scouts from Canada could take over this country, the way we reacted.
Maybe they should.
That's props to my Canadian docs out there. Like, really, I saw a weakness, no backbone of a country. No backbone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you get a couple people protest and fight, but no backbone.
Right.
And as chiropractors, it's all about the backbone, as BJ Palmer would say. So I just think that's what we get frustrated over, because we understand life so much that we don't let the fear of death get in the way of it.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we get frustrated. But you can't, man. You just got to be good. We got plenty of patients that are knocking on the doors coming in. I think this is a good time for all chiros to do a couple things. Reactivate every single person that you ever walked into your practice. Like, spend time on that. Spend time on calling people that been to your dinners. Just get on the phone and start calling people. And it's worked very, very well. It's not optimal. It's a lot of work. It's slow, but it's better than nothing, right?
Right. Absolutely. Well, we're going to take a short ad break. When we get back, we're going to talk about more action steps, more positive things that we can do, not only as chiropractors, but in the entire society, to kind of flip the script for ourselves personally and those closest to us, so that we can better navigate this difficult situation that we're in and that we've kind of been presented with and forced upon. So we're going to be right back after this short break. Every chiropractic clinic needs a compliance program. If you are not sure what that includes or why you need one, let Dr. Robin from RHDC Consulting help you build your chiropractic compliance. If you are ready to get started, head to robin-hale.mykajabi.com and let Dr. Robin guide you to the end result. Dr. Christy Wick is revamping the landscape of women's chiropractic coaching. With a focus on connection and congruence, she's on a mission to empower lady DCs across the nation to create bold, successful lives and practices their way. Get started today by visiting theilluminatedsquad.com. Thank you for allowing this brief disruption to take place. And now back to the program. Phenomenal. This has been a lovely conversation with Dr. Chris Zaino. And we're talking all about, this fear-based mentality that we have while dealing with a worldwide crisis and pandemic, right? So what we want to do from here on out in this show is what we kind of covered some psychological things of like, hey, we really think we're making decisions based on fear. We think that, what we can do for ourselves and for those closest to us, our family, our loved ones, our friends, right, is we can really flip the script. And Dr. Zaino, I think, would agree with me on that one. And like he said, one of his tactics is to kind of remove himself from the situation and keep routine. I wrote that down as an action step for you to take, right? Maintain routine as much as as society allows you to or permits, right? Because there are some things in your office that you're going to have to change. There are some things in school that you are going to have to change in this time, right? But don't let it be your new normal. Don't let, like Dr. Zaino said, he's like, I don't want, this shouldn't be a new normal, right? We shouldn't be comfortable just wearing around masks all the time. We shouldn't be comfortable just walking and strolling about every single day, talking about this. And so I think moving forward here, we're going to talk about some positive things, but I wanted to mention one thing briefly, and that is what my peak doctor at Life University taught me. His name's Dr. Sam Clavel, and he taught me something very important. He said, when someone comes into your office, or our office at the time, I was in his office for 6 months, and he said, if someone comes in a fear or a pain-based state, they are not the same person that they will be after your care, right? Or after a week, after a month, after, a day, right? They are not, a person in fear or pain is not going to be the same person that you will eventually see if they continue care and you be that beacon of light for them and bring them joy and happiness in your office, right? And I think, Dr. Zaino, would you agree with that? That people, live in this fear and pain, and it's kind of one and the same mentality, I would argue.
1,000,000%. It's a vibration.
Yeah.
Just if you just think it's like a radio station, right? So there's hundreds of radio stations going in the air right now, and it's how you tune in. So fear, worry, it's a station they're tuning into. And that's why they continue to stay in that. And so with the adjustments and getting them healthy and well, they start vibrating or tuning in to better channels.
Yeah.
And then when you tune into better channels, that's why they look different. They feel different. If it's vibration, their cells vibrate different. When it comes down to vibration, it's 100%. I used to, my staff doctor when I was in school, he used to say all people on antidepressants, antipsychotic medication, he said the same thing you just told me. He's like, they're not rational people. You cannot have a rational conversation with those people because of the same effect.
Yep.
It's just they're tuned in, they're alive, but they're on a different radio station as you. And the radio station is fear, worry, doubt, and what's even below that. And we see that with a lot of sick people is apathy or indifference. That's when they're just giving up. That's total submittance to the victimhood of disease or circumstance. They're just like, nothing I can do.
Right.
They're just melancholy, apathetic. And so that's why I always tell people that are in that stage, I coach them towards anger. And it's like, well, anger, it's temporary anger, because at least anger is better than apathy. And it's a little bit of a personal power. Anger, then anger goes into frustration. And then after frustration comes, their breakthrough.
Right. And I think it
goes frustration, then confusion,
yeah,
then breakthrough.
Yeah, and I think it's a natural progression. I kind of got where you were going there, and you have to kind of reverse engineer it, right? In the sense of, hey, we need to address this head on. It's like you have to accept that you have it, right? The problem, after denying it for so long, you have to accept it and then face it head on. And I think that's something that you were mentioning with, coach them towards anger, coach them, towards frustration, and then a breakthrough. I wrote down a quote while you were sharing your quote. I wrote down a quote here for you, and it was, it's, you only live once. But the answer, the true quote is, you only live once. No, You only die once. You live every single day, right? You have the opportunity to live every single day. So are you taking that opportunity and doing everything you possibly can with it, right? And I wanted to share that with you because you got to share your quote in before the break. But talk to us a little bit, Doc, about how now we can be leaders as chiropractors in our communities. How can we step ahead, right? And not only continue our daily routines, but really be an influence in our community still during this time of crisis.
Well, if you look at it more than ever, a couple things happen. So let's look at the blessing of this. Hospitals did not do anything routine. So our community, all the surgeries just think of all the spine surgeries and other surgeries that did not happen because it was not considered, it was essential to maybe to that person, but all the pain surgeries and all this thing, they didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't happen because they wanted space in the hospital just in case. So you have a lot of people that did not get surgery that chiropractic could help. You have a lot of that. I mean, I don't think the word immune system has been used so much in the last 2 months, right? So health is a focus. Would you agree that health is a focus?
110%.
Disease was the focus, right? So like health is, we don't want to get something. So you're avoiding a disease, and as we know in chiropractic, cursing the disease like cursing the darkness. It's like there's no such thing as a disease, guys. It's the absence. Disease is the absence of health.
Right.
So the disease is the absence of something. Darkness is something. So you're chasing the absence of something. It's like not even a thing to chase, where you should be focused on the increase of the function of health and turning on the light. Which we do. So all this, so it is in the forefront, and I think more than ever, especially because what was the big thing you heard? All the people that died, let's just say all. And I think it's nothing's 100%, but I'm pretty sure it is. All the people that they said had an underlying condition, right? So it was diabetes, it was obesity, it was ill health. Number two, the people that said, well, look at so-and-so. They were the picture of health, and they got it. And as chiropractors, we know, no, they weren't. You don't feel heart disease, you don't feel cancer. So everybody, there's no this young person, he just contacted in 2 days, he was dead. He or she had an underlying condition. I don't care if it was diagnosed or not, but it just doesn't take you. No, that's not what it was.
Right.
So everybody had an underlying condition. And then it's not because you were old. My mom's 82 years old. She's doing great. You know why? She's on no medications and she gets adjusted. So older people are on a crap load of medications. They're super sick because they're on medication. So when you really look at the cause of this, I think what's being said over and over, we have, like you said, John, not only we have the answer for, but like you said, we also have the education for.
Mm-hmm.
Like we could teach people, whether it be on telemedicine, we could teach people on Facebook or podcast or Facebook Lives. And you know what? You just get it out there. I know Eric Naputi, he's crushing it. Millions of views. I did one Facebook Live on how Corona, the ventilators weren't good for them because it was the body's inability to hold on to oxygen. That got 360,000 or 370,000 views. And people, I think I had out of all of it, because I look at every comment, I had about four trolls. But, dude, 4 trolls, thousands of shares. So the majority of people loved it. They wanted it. It made sense. They're waking up to it. So our message now makes so much more sense than ever. But the thing is, well, how do we get in front of them? Well, you can't get in front of them in a restaurant like I used to, not now, or not as much now, but you can get online. All you have to do is take your phone, Facebook Live, Instagram Live, and speak your truth. And, you do that for 100 days, and you're going to have quite a bit of people that are waking up and appreciating what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Could not agree more. And I actually like the point that you mentioned about, majority of hospitals are closed to emergency care or not necessarily emergency care, but immediate care and or inpatient care, right? Or outpatient care, rather. Outpatient care. So, if you sprain an ankle, right, or you stub a toe and you think it's broken, they're saying, hey, don't come here, right? Don't come here. But what an opportunity for chiropractors, right? Because we are musculoskeletal, kings and queens, and we get it. We get the human body, but you have to get in front of people. So just like Dr. Zaino just said, how are you going to get in front of people in right now? Not in today's day and age, right now, right? You're going to hop on a Facebook Live, Instagram Live. You're going to share your truth, whatever that means to you. And you don't necessarily have to even share what your opinions are on this whole thing going on. All what we're suggesting you do is continue your normal routine. Yeah. Continue preaching chiropractic, right? Continue preaching health and wellness and immune function and adjustments, right? Like, don't be foolish. Continue the communication that you were doing prior to this all happening. And I promise you, people will respond in a different way. I really do. I really, truly believe that, because we are seeing just through numbers and data from, I've listened to 3 different podcasts, and all of them have said that e-commerce on sporting goods, on active wear, on things that make people feel good health-wise, right? Health-wise, health-conscious decisions are skyrocketed right now. On Amazon, on all of the e-commerce platforms, Shopify, Klaviyo, right? All of those. And so that's important for you to pay attention to, is what I'm getting at. Because if people are buying more sweats and people are buying more gym shoes, that means hopefully they're going outside, or they're going in their basement and they're actually getting on a treadmill, or they're doing some sort of working out to be physically fit. And with that, I believe, comes the perfect regimen with chiropractic care, right? And it's that 360 degrees of health that I think Dr. Zaino and I covered probably in episode like 1 or 2. So go back and listen to those while I have you. But yeah, do you have any last things to share on just what our conversation's been? When we come back from our last ad break, we're gonna do a couple of other things. But do you have anything else to share on that?
No, I think you want to bridge the communication. So, we were, straight chiropractic. You think, well, you can't talk about symptoms, but like you just said, like, what are the, people with headache, like, just think, who went to the hospitals that weren't able to go? People with headaches go to the hospital. With blood pressure go to the hospital. People with, cold. Just think of all the things the hospital, like, listen, guys, don't come in here for it. So there's a lot of things: spinal issues, neck pain, back pain, headaches, hip pain. You name it, muscular, like you said. So I know, like, real philosophical chiros, they cringe at talking symptoms, but we're not asking you to talk about symptoms. We're talking about bridging the gap. So you could talk about headaches and then bring it right into your chiropractic story about the adjustment, stuff like that. Yeah. So, this is what you have to do, because these people there's so many people that were going to go to the hospital, the emergency room, and they weren't allowed to. So here, you could say, here's another option. So I would go condition specific, but use the condition as a frame, just like a frame. Yep. And the picture is the actual truth of chiropractic. So there's nothing wrong. You're not a heretic of chiropractic. You are communicating and bridging and bringing one philosophy and helping them transform into another one. So you have to meet that person where they're at.
Yeah. 100%. We'll be right back. We're going to take a short ad break, and when we come back, I have actions. I have 3 major action steps for you and 3 major positive takeaways that I want to share with you before Dr. Zaino gives his closing remarks on the entire episode. So stay tuned with us. Dr. Stu Hoffman, founder and president of ChiroSecure Malpractice Insurance, is the foremost expert in both risk management and risk avoidance. Understanding the everyday challenges of today's practicing chiropractor and the current public perception of chiropractic has made ChiroSecure the fastest growing malpractice insurance program of the last 28 years. Find out more at chirosecure.com. Imaging Services' primary business is chiropractic solutions. With over 45 years in the industry of helping chiropractors, Michael Tokash offers free consultations on building your business. In the past year, Imaging Services has installed over 100 X-ray machines and digital X-ray systems in over 42 states across the United States. For more, head to theimageservices.com. Thank you for allowing this brief disruption to take place. And now back to the program. Sweet. Welcome back, everybody. We have had a wonderful conversation this evening just about everything that's been going on in the world. And I want to bring you some action steps and some positive takeaways from our entire conversation that we've had today and tonight with Dr. Chris Zaino. Number one, in action steps, we're going to go through those first. Number one in action steps, keep your routine. That's the biggest takeaway, I would say, in regards to what you can do starting tonight, tomorrow, is maintain your routine as much as possible. Now, if your routine has been shaken or stirred a little bit or a lot of bit, right? I know some states like Kentucky were completely shut down. But when you get back into things, please try and maintain it as much as you can. Get back to your normal workouts, eating habits. Get back to your normal talks if you're doing them virtually now instead of in a restaurant. Whatever it is that you can do and you have been doing, please continue to do. Action step number 2 is help your patients by simply calling them. Pick up the phone or simply type an email up and say, hey, I'm here for you. Or when you open back up, right? Say, hey, I'm here for you. And even if you're not open, guys, I can't stress this enough. Even if you're not open, please continue to have that conversation with them so that they know when you do open back up that you were there for them every step of the way. And you can start tomorrow. It's not that hard to send out an email to your entire patient base. So help your patients by calling or emailing them. And number 3 action step is what Dr. Zaino ended on there, was bridging communication, right? And like he said, is we're not necessarily telling you to talk about symptoms and pain and that's it, right? But we're telling you that's where people's heads are right now, especially those people who couldn't go and get the outpatient care that they needed at the hospital. So they might have spinal surgeries coming up. They might have coming up in like the way distant future, or they might have, had a sprained strain, right? You can do all sorts of great videos on that, go live and just talk to them about what that looks like for them. So any other action steps before I get into my positives, docs, any other action steps that you can think of off the top of your head?
I mean, just what comes to my mind is, this is where we got to be ground. We got to be ground battle on the ground. So it's, yes, I love having 50 people to talk to and being really efficient, but now it's not even a grind. It's like you just said, pick up the phone and call the person. Like you said, even if it is just to see how they're doing, like do something. Even if it's something to sustain your practice, right? Let's say you can't even practice. You were in Colorado or Kentucky. It's like you could still go in and get the files of your patients and just call them.
Yep.
What else are you going to do? They're sitting at home. But you know what I mean? Like you might be thinking, well, they're not coming in. They're not getting adjusted. I'm like, yeah, but that one call might have given you a lifetime patient.
Yep.
Or that one call, like you got to understand, like any effort from a good intention will always yield some type of return. So there is something you could do. Like I didn't even let my team. They're like, well, how about we'll clean out the file cabinets? I'm like, no, don't clean out the file cabinets. That's like that's a high school kid job to do. Like I need it to be productive. So I want you to just call these people, email these people. Everybody who's not been in for these 4 months, call it. It became something productive of intention to get them in and not idle work.
Right.
So I think just like you said, picking up the phone just to say hi, have a conversation, you're going to build lifetime patients that way. I mean, like you said, our offices is just a lot more than, you're right, getting someone on a table and adjusting their atlas. Like giving them that call is just maybe that could be the adjustment they need more than ever right now.
Yeah.
I mean, how nice would that be? A little bit of hope, a little bit of confidence, a little bit of encouragement.
Right.
Like that might be even more powerful for their healing than racking T12 or whatever. It's something, but you follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we take for granted how many areas we help people heal on.
Yep.
We really don't sit down and think about like, hey, okay, so I'm gonna be. This is just calling that person and making them smile or show that you care. That's just as healing as anything else, especially coming out of a time like this.
Yeah, for sure. And we never know. I always like to say that, right? We never know how far reaching. We never know. Because that one person that you actually connect with over the phone, even if it's 1 out of 10, right? even if it's 1 out of 10 people that you connect with and you have a good conversation with, they're going to go tell their friends, oh, what'd you do today? Because there's nothing else to talk about, right? And if your chiropractor calls you out of the blue and you're like, hello, oh, this is Dr. John. Like you tell people that person tells people and they're like, your chiropractor called you? What? Like, and it just gets people talking about something different. Right? It stirs up a different conversation and it comes from a different angle, especially if you leave that conversation and that person with some hope and some love. So I absolutely love that. I have 3 positives I want to share, and then I want to let you take away the rest of the show in regards to sharing a little bit about what you got going on right now. Yeah. So number 1 positive is it's a reset. This is a reset for not only chiropractic, but a reset for the world, right? We have an opportunity as an entire planet to come back stronger and better than ever. And I firmly believe that we can do it. It's going to take some perseverance and it's going to take a lot of courage from a lot of people. But I really do think that this is a really positive reset in the sense of if you look at it from a different perspective than we're seeing all over our news feeds right now. Number 2 positive is it's all about the mind. You change your mind, like Dr. Zaino said earlier in this episode. If you change your mind, you change your reality. It's the truth. And if you tell yourself, I am happy, I am lucky, I am the one, right? I don't know what you tell yourself, what affirmations you do, but if you tell yourself those things, right, you're going to start to believe them over time, right? And I don't know. It's just, those were the top 3 that came to my mind. Number 3 is hope is what we deliver before an adjustment ever takes place, right? Hope is the adjustment, I guess we could call it, but hope is the one thing that we deliver before an adjustment ever takes place. And I firmly believe that, right? If someone comes into our office in pain and fear, what do? We provide hope, right? So first and foremost, we say, hey, we're here for you. If we can help you, we'll help you in this office. But if we can't, we're going to find you the people that can help you, right? And I think that's really important. I think that's what people need more now than ever before. So, Doc, close us out. Without further ado, please close us out. Tell us where we can find more out about Reclaim Your Hero and all of the things, beautiful things that you have going on, but also give us some wisdom from that brain of yours.
Yeah. Like right now, if you're watching this soon after we recorded or watching now, we have a summit going on for the entire month called Reclaiming Your Hero. So I brought in some of the top thought leaders of my life in all areas. And it was never intended, by the way, for it to be during a time like this, but it actually was the greatest blessing ever because everything we talked about, reclaiming your hero, dropping that secret identity and, knowing no one's coming to save you, rising up and really being a dealer of hope. That's what a hero is. And it just really was a great, perfect time because like you said, a lot of people, they're not going back to their same jobs. It's a great time for entrepreneurship and to reinvent yourself. So if you just go to reclaimyourhero.com, right? Or is it Reclaiming Your Hero or Reclaim Your Hero?
Reclaimyourhero.com. I got it right below here.
Yes, gotcha. Reclaimyourhero.com. Check that out. It's a free summit. And instead of these summits, some summits or docuseries, they last a full week and there's like a crazy 40 hours worth of material. What we did, instead of it over a week, we tried a month model. So it's easily dripped. We'll have enough interviews a week where you could easily digest it without being bombarded and really just enjoy the whole month of this stuff. And I really think it take a good solid month. You need to be around positive stuff for that month to start the momentum going. And for me, the greatest line of this podcast this time together is when you said, I want to get a shirt that says I am the one. And I think that would be I think we should sell that shirt now.
I knew that's the one. I knew that's the one you hung on to. For some reason,
you were on a roll and you said, I am the one. I am the one. Maybe some guy, you should just Rob Schiffman, he saw more people than anybody in history. And he used to, like, in a very humbling way, he used to, like, look in the mirror and say, I am the greatest chiropractor. I am the greatest chiropractor. And it's okay to say that you are the one, because you are. Everybody's the chosen one. We're all the same.
I love it. I love it. I knew you hung on to that one. Go tell yourself that in the mirror, and maybe next time, by the time Dr. Chris Zaino and I speak again, we'll have a T-shirt made, and we'll both be rocking it.
I am the one. I am the one.
Oh, man. I hope you send me a video of you saying that tomorrow morning for your affirmations. That would be great.
Oh, dude. You'll never live that down in my books. Ever.
That's the best part about these podcasts and Facebook Lives is it's a digital digital blueprint or footprint forever for life.
Indeed, you are the one.
I love it. I love it, Doc. Well, I appreciate you being on the show as usual. Yeah. ReclaimYourHero.com right there below. It's on the screen. Head to that link. Check it out. I think you got to put in your email to receive the podcast. Is that true?
Yes.
Yes. Cool. Okay. So ReclaimYourHero.com. Head there. It's happening over this course of May and June here. If you're listening to this now live, or if you're listening to this in audio podcast, it's probably going to be over by that time, but you can always find Dr. Chris Zaino on Facebook, and he's very, very active on both Facebook and Instagram, as well as YouTube. So go check him out. And Doc, I appreciate you being on the show. Everyone, please click the link above. Check out all of our sponsor goodies. Thank you to our sponsors. And also be sure to head to legendarychiro.com. That's our brand new website. You can become a member as a student or a doctor completely for free and get all of past podcasts, past video interviews, and tons of great content and resources as you go along your chiropractic journey. Stay legendary, my friends. I appreciate you. I love you. Thanks, Doc, for being on.
God bless, guys.